So yeah, starting in the first leg, you can either start in here. Some people like to start right out at the tip of the hock, but I generally put a blow in here, and folding the top blade over and pulling that wool up to stretch out any wrinkle in here on merinos.
Yeah.
In just one blow, and point it down slightly, because in here of course the stomach sticks out. If you go straight in, you pinch the stomach. Next blow all the way out to the socks, following the same line, and in just to where the leg is, unlike machines where you'd sweep up. Clear the rest of the sock, coming under, again down to the end of the leg. Coming in here, you use your bottom point to lift up any crutch wool there, and the tip of the tail, the other side of the tail, and then using your top point to clear under the tail there and those blows there, so it should be nice and clean under there. If you're fussy, you'll clear that stuff up, but it's going to get crutched again. Shouldn't be too much in here. Just clean it up. So I step forward just a little bit with my left to clean that up, and go a wee bit further and up, clear the neck. So in here you're pulling that leg back with your right leg, the sheep's front leg. I'm going to come right in under here, and really, so the first blow is a little bit more square, and then you're, like you rode your motorbike, you're really pulling the top blade down onto the skin. This sheep doesn't have a lot of wrinkle, but straight up the neck. And normally I'll clear the far side of that cheek before I break it open. So clearing that stuff, you won't be able to see too much. Just as I open it out here, cleared most of that cheek. Hopefully my bottom blade has run along the point of the wrinkle. Now here, I just use my finger to just tighten that wrinkle up a wee bit, so I can come under the wrinkle.
So you just want to pull up. You just want to pull up.
Just tighten it up a wee bit so it straightens the wrinkle up. That way there's not going to be big folds in it. If it's really wrinkly, what you do is you'll clear a bit more here and then really pull the wrinkle up, but this one doesn't have enough to do that. So then pulling the ear forward, around here, coming around the back of the head, clearing off the top knot. And I'm just going to shuffle the sheep forward a wee bit. A wee bit of frib in there. Coming around here, again around to the back of the head. Then coming out and using my left thumb. There's a bit of extra frib there, there quite often is. So folding it out, putting the shears in, but making sure I get my left hand out of the way before I shear in. I'm going to clear right up to sort of the top of the shoulder blade, so that you don't have too much there. There's a really awkward spot up here to get on the long blow. So then clearing most of the rest of that leg, and then you find the joint. There's a wee tendon in here that when you press it, straightens out that sheep's leg. It's probably not enjoying being here for a long time. Clean up that sock, then you can come in underneath here with your bottom blade, and I'm slightly rolling the shears out to let the skin out. And then coming in, and again to the top of that shoulder blade up in here. And here, this is where you can really take some good big blows. So you're going to be filling your shears up, running your top blade along the cut of the wool, because that way your bottom blade's pointing down into the wool.
So you're just following that line that you've already gone on.
Yep. And so same again, I don't know how well you can see, that top blade is going straight along the old cut. So the bottom blade should be sucking into the wool a wee bit. I'm just shuffling out with my left foot so that sheep's rolling down slowly. Clearing it so it's a reasonably straight line. Of course, it's not going to be perfectly straight. Now, if I was shearing fast, I would have kept my leg in there and kept shearing, but she's going to get a bit fidgety because I'm not going that quick. So here, taking quite wide blows, but there will be gaps where the blows zigzag in a wee bit. So this one's sort of straightening things up. So you're going to run your bottom blade along the backbone of the sheep. all the way up to the back of the head. So now there's a pretty straight line there. And the second blow is going over the backbone. Now sometimes, to avoid cutting the shoulder, I'll actually leave a little bit of a second cut there, because I think you're better off leaving a second cut there than taking the shoulder. But yeah, really folding those shears over to make sure, because if you're coming in here, there's quite a point on the shoulder there. Let's clean that up since we're here. And now we're stepping around, clearing that neck. Sometimes, if the sheep's fidgety, I'll leave that wool there if she's really throwing her head around, because you can get it coming down the last side. But if you can, you want to come all the way up. Now in here, you want to be running your bottom point up so that it's not going to get the ear, because if you run it down that way, it's coming, you can't really see the ear in there, but of course it's got a bit of a point on the ear. So if you run it up this way, you've got a pretty low chance of hitting the ear, whereas if you're coming down, you'll pinch it. So coming up and then down the other side of the ear, clearing the cheek, clearing any little bits on the eyebrow there. Then pulling the ear forward. You're not grabbing the ear. See, my fingers are just in there. Clearing the back of the ear and around, clearing the rest of the cheek there. And you see a lot of guys, they'll grab the ear and pull it up. Sheep tend to fight a bit more. I try to use this sort of a jawbone in there. It's not about fighting too much. You can grab that. You should be able to, each blow should cover what you've left on the neck there. You should be able to take a decent blow there. And this one, you're running your bottom blade, there's the point of the shoulder there where it folds over, so you're running your bottom blade along that. So sometimes it's just, that's a narrower blow, just to get that shoulder blade. And then this time, your top blade's on the shoulder blade. Again, while I'm starting back here, normally I'd be taking blows while I'm doing it, but I'm using my left thumb to roll all of that fib out, and then moving it away and just sliding it up the leg of the sheep, and then you clear the other sock. You just got your finger in under there, so if the sheep kicks, it just flicks off. But generally they're pretty comfortable with it there, and just folding it down a little bit if you need to clear the top of the sock. Going all the way back. This time I'm just rolling the shears again this way, just to let the skin out and clearing that fib underneath. One line of blows just to clear under the armpit before stepping back and picking the head up with my knee. And hopefully on a decent normal size sheep, like this is a reasonably good one, you should, again, if you're running that top blade along your blow line, you should be able to do one line of blows and clear all the way into the flank there. And again, rolling those fibs out with your left hand as you come down, and then rolling the top blade over to pick up those fibs but let the skin out all the way out that sock. You clear there if there's anything there. There's nothing on this one. And then just following the line all the way out the leg. Now I tend to just go straight out here, and then on the next line come around, and there's not much here. The belly crutch has done a pretty good job here, but when you're coming under here, you just lift the shears as you cut to make sure that hamstrings that out. Now just continuing over, and using your left hand, you can just pick up any wool that's down there, but making sure you get it out of the way before you get your blades here. Same again,